Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Digesting Life. Today, I have a special guest host, Kai. Do you want to give yourself an introduction?
What do you want to know?
Everything. Tell me everything.
Okay. Hi guys. Hi Digesting Life. I'm happy to be here. My name is Kyra, but I go by Kai. I'm currently now a senior in college because the school year just ended, which is very terrible to say out loud. But a senior in college at the University of Mary Washington. And what I do besides being a student, I'm a wellness coach. And in addition to that, when during the school year, I am a communications intern in the UMW communications office, helping make content for our socials.
Awesome. So I've known Kai since we've been trying to figure that out, but it's mostly like elementary school, we think, like fourth or fifth grade-ish.
It
And
definitely was like at minimum fifth grade.
yeah, we were very young and like prepubescent.
We were at a volleyball camp. It was Parks and Rec in the county that we live in, and it was just this giant volleyball camp of a bunch of kids our age. I think it had to have been like kindergarten through fifth grade because like we
Yeah.
were very young and there was just a lot of kids, so like a bunch of different grades.
Yeah.
But I remember during one of our lunch breaks, we're all sitting in the gym,
Oh no.
and I don't know why
Oh.
I think Maya told one of our camp counselors that she sings or something, but and they wanted her to sing. So Maya sang in front of, do you remember this?
No. No, I don't.
Because I vividly remember this because I was jealous.
This
My
is
little
news
5th-year,
to me.
she sings for all of us while we're eating lunch, and I just remember being like, "She's fucking fifth grade, bro! Like you have the courage to get up and sing in front of everyone." I just remember being so jealous because your voice was beautiful,
Oh,
and
well, thank you.
however old we were, like if we were older than we're thinking, like it would have been at max like seventh grade, like, but it had to have been, I think it was fifth grade.
Yeah.
So that's my first memories of Maya. And she doesn't remember, but like this is a vivid memory I have.
Well, that's like actually hilarious because that's not unlike me. Like as a kid. Now
Right.
I'm terribly like shy. I will never do that.
Really?
Yes, I will not do that. Like I don't know what it was, but when I was younger, like I had no problem getting up in front of people like on command and singing as if I was like this little puppet or something. And like I don't remember that at all, and I'm thinking I trauma blocked it or something. Like I I don't know why. What? So they asked me to do
Yeah, I remember they like it wasn't like you were just singing in like a little corner and everyone's like going about their lunch.
during
Like we
lunch?
were all yeah.
Ew! I actually am so embarrassed of myself.
No, that was like you were literally so good, and I don't know if I don't did you have an Instagram in the fifth grade? Because
Yeah.
I was about to say I either got your Instagram right after that or like a friend of a friend, like it was a friend of a
Yeah.
friend situation. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's her. Like I have to follow her. She's so cool.
I
Imagine us in the fifth grade, me like, oh, she's so cool. I have to be friends with her. Like I have to follow her.
This is absolute news to me. I'm like actually baffled and like kind of embarrassed because I do not remember that at all. So okay, you can tell me if I totally dreamed this up because there's like one memory I had from that. And it's not like about you or anything. Like I remember we did it together and like we played volleyball,
Right.
right? But didn't we do like other like fun little games in between and like
Yeah.
was and
Yeah.
there was like this gym and didn't it have like a stage up
Yeah.
to the right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they had like this big stage and I remember like people would go up there. Was there like a talent show of some sort?
I now that you say it, I feel like there was.
Cuz I think I remember some kids doing some outrageous shit on that stage like hula hooping and being like I'm
Yes.
talented. Which talent, go ahead, period. If you're like a professional hula hooper,
Me
I don't want to.
imagining the setting too, like it's this old, like rundown, like that old wood, like
Yes.
that old ugly
Creaky.
yellow wood.
Yes.
Yes. I think
Yeah.
it's renovated inside now, but
Is it really?
I
I
haven't been
haven't
in
seen
a
it.
while. But I know that like there's a room attached to that facility that I used to do karate in, and it
Mhm.
has since been renovated. It's really nice. So I assume the rest is renovated.
Oh. Well, that's all I really remember. And then I don't, this is the part that I don't remember if I'm dreaming about. I remember we had to go like on some trip or something, and they rented a bus that had like arcade games in it.
For this camp?
Yeah. Maybe I did a
That
lot of
part's news to me.
Okay,
I don't
I thought you were
remember.
there for that. I did a few summer camps like during the summer through that
Okay.
county, and that there it was like as I got older, I went through like all the different little camps when I was young. But I think like until I was how old were we in like fifth grade?
I know that I was like I'm always a year behind everyone, so I was
Me
like
too.
9 or 10.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think when I was 10, I stopped going to like camps and stuff, or like 9.
Yeah,
But like I would do like the summer camps and I remembered that bus, but I thought it was from the volleyball camp.
I don't remember. I genuinely only
Hmm.
remember you singing at that camp. Like I remember it was like at least a week long, and I remember you singing.
That is awful
And that was
memory.
not like a memory that only resurfaced because like we started talking again in this stage of life. Like I've always remembered that.
That is
Maybe
actually
it's weird.
awful.
Maybe it's weird.
Wait, no, that's so funny. Because I don't remember it at all. Like I'm sitting here like, how do you remember so vividly and I don't? But didn't you have volleyball experience before then?
I started playing in the fourth grade, and
Yeah.
so like I was still in the beginning of my volleyball journey, and I played all the way through high school.
What I remembered about you was that you were freaking good at it. Like,
Stop.
I remember because that was my first time ever really taking volleyball somewhat seriously.
Really?
Because I played soccer my whole life. So I
Oh,
wanted to do
that's
like
different.
volleyball too because my high school, I guess they were lacking like players or middle school. When the hell was this? Whatever school I was in wanted more players and they were like, "Hey, we'll take anybody." And I was like, "Well, I am anybody." So, I'll try
Wait, what
and
high school did you go to? And
uh
middle school, which ones did you go to?
I went to a private middle school.
Okay, okay.
Or wait, I went to a private elementary school, and then middle school was H.H. Poole, and then high school was Colonial Forge.
Oh, my
You went
mom
to
works there.
really?
Yeah.
How long has she been there?
I honestly can't remember. It hasn't been more than 5 years.
Mm. Oh, then I wasn't
Yeah.
there.
But she's a autism paraprofessional, so
Oh, cool.
she's not in like the I don't want to say normal teacher realm because that sounds mean, but like you
Like
know
we're
what I
all
mean.
in. Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean. I went to Brook Point,
Yeah, I know that.
unfortunately.
What middle school did you go to?
Stafford Middle.
Oh, okay, that
Stafford
makes
L,
sense.
Stafford Middle,
Yeah. Okay.
Brook Point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I feel that. I was in like private school, so that's why like I tried to do all these camps was so I could meet people because I only knew like 10 people my whole life, like in private school. So pretty lonely. But yeah, so then like my school was like, yeah, like we want more volleyball players. So then I like tried to learn how to play volleyball at that camp. But I
You said
remember
try.
yeah, I don't think I was very good, but I remember like you were really good and you had like the knee pads and everything. Like I remember because I was like, I need to get. I think I went up to my mom and I was like, we need knee pads. Like after
Yeah,
seeing you in
bro.
the gear,
You need knee pads, unless you want bruised knees.
right? Well, because I remember you looked so professional. I think you even had like the elbow ones and like, are there wrist ones? I don't remember.
Um, there aren't wrist ones, but I
Mhm.
know that I don't even want to think about what I looked like as a young volleyball player because I used to have these really chunky knee pads and they were really ugly. But I
I thought you
digress.
looked so
I
cool.
appreciate it. My younger self feels very flattered.
Yeah, good.
Because I was so self-critical about
Me
my chunky
too.
knee pads.
I was just so self-critical of like everything like back then. I was like cuz like I don't know, I felt like I was late to the trends, you know, cuz like I just
Oh, because you went to a private middle school. Got you, got
so
you,
I
got
had no
you.
idea like what like young girls were like wearing, what backpacks they had. I was like, am I like behind? Like, do I look stupid?
Bro, I was just like in a group of like I look back and I'm about to say cool fifth graders, but I look back and I'm like, there were cliques in the fifth grade. Like it wasn't a clique, it was just like the cool people and we were friends. But I was like, I don't belong here. But like they were if you knew them, you would like understand. Like just knowing what they were like in the freaking fifth grade, and then we
Yeah.
were all in the same class, and so I feel like I was always trying to be up there with
Right,
them. I was
right.
like, Mom, I need these pants. I remember
The
there was
galaxy pants. What?
that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's so crazy. And like the freaking Nike Roshis. Do you remember those shoes, bro?
I never got them.
Bro, I had a pair of those. I had a pair of Hirachis.
What were those chunky ones? The Filas? I had those.
I had a pair of those in high school.
Me too.
They were like
The white ones.
I didn't want the white ones because everyone had them. I think I got a pair of like yellow ones. But
You
yellow's
know
my favorite
what?
color.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
I think I've seen that in like old posts of yours. Like with the you had I think I specifically remember like black leggings, the yellow filas, and a yellow sweatshirt. Most
that's
likely.
the vibe.
And maybe like sports headband.
Okay, we don't talk about the Nike headband. We don't talk
Wait, why
about
not? Is
that.
it retired?
You know, it's actually so funny that you said that because I'm having a yard sale in 2 weeks,
Oh, fun.
because I have an archaeological field school in Charlottesville at UVA that I'm going to next month, or it's actually 6 weeks long, and so I'm not going to be working at all. So I was like, Mom, can I have a yard sale to like get some extra cash, right? And I'm purging through all my stuff, and I just surrendered all of the Nike headbands to this yard sale.
Oh my
And I
god.
haven't worn them in years, but I was like
Right.
emotional attachment
Yeah.
to them. Like maybe I'll still wear them.
No, they're retired.
Absolutely not. So crazy that you said that, but that was a time. That was an era.
Yeah.
I used to hate my ears, and that's why I would wear the Nike headband over my ears. And because I obviously I sweat a lot,
Yeah.
and when you play volleyball, you're sweating. So I obviously had to wear my hair up playing volleyball, and that's why I would wear the Nike headbands over my ears. And even like when I went to school, yeah.
Really?
So I had like 5 different colors and 2 in each color because I would like cycle them out and I would
Right.
wash them, because I refused to wear my hair up without a Nike headband on.
Wow. See, I never owned one of those. That was one of the things I felt like I was late to. Like, I really wanted so badly to have a Nike headband, especially the ones that like had the Nike swoosh in the front and then tied in the back.
Yep, that's
Did you
them.
have those?
Those are the ones that I wore. I had.
You lived my dream.
I only know because I'm like getting rid of them, and I've just seen them so recently. I had 2 white ones, 2 black ones, 2 red ones because I went to Brook Point. So,
right.
And then my mom surprised me with like this maroon one because I used to have these like Adidas running shoes that were maroon, and so they match. So I was brand mixing, but the color was nice. Yeah.
Wow. So
What a time.
how long did you play volleyball for?
4th grade all the way until senior year of high school.
Wow.
Yeah, I stopped in college because I just like I didn't want to be overwhelmed with doing things. I miss it all the time. And like if there's a volleyball at any function, I'm there. Like I'm there playing.
Right.
But sometimes when I start playing, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way that I was that, because I'll get so out of breath and I'm like, I was in shape enough to do that. That's so crazy because I'm like, I'm fit now, but I'm like cardio. It's more cardio than you realize.
Yeah.
But what was your initial question?
Oh,
Just how long?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how do the math? I'm no math girl.
Right.
But,
I'm not either. But that's a while. That's a good bit.
Yeah, it was a big part of my life. So that's kind of a part of like getting into like weightlifting and wellness. I feel like this is a struggle that a lot of people have, like coming out of a sport that they've played for so long. It's like a part of your identity, and just like finding your identity outside of a sport is like so rough.
Yeah.
Like however many years that was, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 years if I'm doing the math right. Like it's a big part of your life, considering I'm 20 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Half of my life. Now that I think about it, crazy. So that's a big part of like getting into fitness and wellness is not that I mean, if you look at my Instagram, you probably are like, wow, that's like, she makes it her whole personality. But like, it's my job. It's my literal job, but like, it is a big part of my life. Yeah.
Well, that's how I felt with like soccer, because I played like my whole life up until I think senior year of high school, because COVID hit and I had like no other choice. And I also was kind of like falling out of love with it, just because like, like just people could make you fall out of love with it. And then
it was
like
my coach.
I would say my coach was great for the high school team. I did play for like a Stafford travel team.
Okay.
And from what I remember, that was pretty great, but I also did like block out a lot of that time because it was just the same thing over and over again.
Right.
It all kind of like blended together for me, so I don't like remember it like detail for detail. But like I would just say like sometimes the girls could be like sometimes a little more, like not great.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. When I like stopped and then COVID hit, I was like, wow, like what do I do with my life now? And it was like, for a while there was nothing to do at all other than like go outside.
Yeah.
When did COVID hit your junior year of high school?
It was my junior year.
So what happened your senior year? I'm curious.
Like all together, or like?
Yeah, like because my senior year, it was like we went until March, like March 13th, and then they were like, bye.
See you never.
Yeah, right. Like no prom, no finishing sports, no graduation, no nothing. So
Did you graduate college early?
Yeah. So
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I skipped the 4th grade and then I graduated a semester early from college. So I'm like,
oh, and that's why you're always a young one in your.
Okay.
People always think I skipped a grade, and I could honestly probably tell people like, yeah, I skipped a grade, but I just I lived in North Carolina when I started kindergarten, and the cutoff date was like to start school was like B5 by this date. It was in October or something, and my birthday's in September, so I just started kindergarten when I was 4 years old. Outfit change.
If you're watching us on YouTube and not just listening to us, we completely changed scenery and everything.
I was a little warm.
It is a little toasty in here.
I feel like I just get hot when I'm talking a lot. I digress. COVID.
Yes.
My senior year, it's kind of a blur, low key. But I remember at least the first half was digital, like the first semester until winter break, and then it sounds weird saying semesters in high school, and we didn't refer to them as semesters in high school, but you know what I mean. Second part of the year, they offered hybrid, so you could go in person or have the option to stay at home and go via Zoom. And
this is your senior year?
Yeah, it was my senior year. And I remember I chose to go in person because I was like, I need human contact.
Yeah.
Human contact. And in class, there's like minimal people in class. You could only walk on one side of the hallways.
What?
Yes, you could only walk on one side of the hallways.
Did they have the arrows?
Yes, one side of the hallways. And obviously 6 feet away, wearing a mask at all times. We would eat lunch in our classrooms at whatever our third block was, and you couldn't speak when you were eating. So if you were gonna say something, you had to put your mask on.
What?
Bruh, it was like ridiculous.
Wait, that actually kind of sounds worse than being home.
No, right? But like, and I just remember specifically, it was like I had lunch in my AP government class, and I freaking hated that class anyways. And I was like, "You're gonna not like." And my teacher was a stickler for the rules, so if I was talking, like, be like, "Put your mask on, please." Freaking hated those masks. I digress. There were these what they called owls. They were the camera things in the room for the people that were on Zoom, watching class on Zoom. So the owls, they are cameras, and they would move according to the movement in class to stay on the teacher, and you would be able to see. And so all the people would be on the Zoom screen on the what are they called? They're not just whiteboards, you know, the board. I used to know
smart boards.
Yes, the smart boards. Gosh, I haven't been in high school in so long.
I know. I almost remember.
And so you'd see them all on there, and you'd see the screen of the teacher, and the owl like moves according to where he moves. Crazy.
Wait, that's insane.
Yeah, so each of these classrooms had an owl in the back, and there was like a whole separate screen for all of the people on Zoom, and then there was a smart board.
Wow.
And then each of the rooms also had an air purifier in it, like big chonky like air purifier. Freaking volleyball. That was rough.
They still did sports?
Yeah, we did sports. There was only a limited amount of people allowed to come in. I don't think for most of our season we weren't allowed to have a crowd. Like, people weren't allowed to come to games.
Man. Then what's the point?
You know, it was so rough because, like, especially for volleyball, I don't know personally, like, knowing my team, my team wasn't the greatest, but we also. I don't want to be like, we all hated our coach. But like, what are the odds the coach watches? That's what I was thinking. But she knows. Like, she knows. Sorry. She absolutely knows. So.
Sorry, ma'am.
I'm not. And you know what? My mom was also the freshman volleyball coach. And let's just say everyone did not have great experiences. And I feel like all of the football players even, they were like they knew that they hated her. Because she would be mean to them, she would be mean to the players outwardly, she would be mean to other players like on other teams, like XYZ. It was just like not great interactions altogether. Like, she was hurting somehow. Right. She was just outwardly projecting. I tried to pray for her. I digress.
What you gotta
Sports
do.
were rough during COVID, but that's why coming to college as a freshman, like it was like my first time being in real normal
Yeah.
class, and we were still wearing masks, but like we didn't have to like social distance as much. Like it was like my first normal classes since the first part of junior year in high school. So looking back, like
Wow.
college, like coming to college was so like on top of college being like nerve wracking anyways.
Yeah, it was even
That's I
worse.
look back and I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Which like
Right?
I I guess I'll talk about like my like getting into fitness now because like that plays
Yeah.
a big part because like I'm like I can't believe I got through that, but I'm like did I like I got through it obviously, but like I barely did because my first semester of college was so rough. Like I kind of like how you just get to college and you're like
Yeah.
freedom, let freedom reign. That
Yeah.
was me, and
Me
I
too.
felt the repercussions every bit. Um, I remember in like junior and senior year of high school, I just dealt with a lot of like unfortunate circumstances on top of COVID. Like outside of COVID, I mean like interaction like with people,
Mhm.
friendships, relationships, all the things. And the way I coped with that was by restricting my food intake.
Mhm.
And obviously that's not healthy, but I didn't realize while I was doing it that it was unhealthy until someone like pointed it out to me and was like, "Yo, that's like not right. Like that's not normal." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I
Mhm.
realized like it was like a really unhealthy habit and that I lost like a bunch of weight, right? Like and I
Mhm.
didn't like I noticed and then it got to a point where I was like focused on that and but like I was so stuck in my ways that I didn't realize how sickly it was, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Until someone pointed it out to me. And so when I got to college, I started smoking to try and gain my appetite back.
Mhm.
As one does, I guess. Like, I don't know. And like so
I've
it
heard that
worked.
can help.
It
Yeah.
worked, but then it like worked a little too much. And I
Mhm.
started binge eating because I had like gone through like months and months and months of restricting my food intake. And
Mhm.
so I started binge eating. And of course, the people you hang around with they can influence that and like it was just because and not they're bad people at all. I'm still friends with them to this day,
Mhm.
but because we're all doing the same things we just all don't see a problem with it. Like there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it was only enabling and nothing further than that, right?
Right.
So
Like no one was really challenging the
yeah,
idea.
exactly,
Yeah.
challenging my current habits and whatnot. So like I was eating junk food all day every day, no real meals because no.
Right.
And so like I grew in like 2 months, like 5, 6 pant sizes, crazy. I
Mhm.
look back and I'm like, I like, did you not see that that was a problem when it was actively happening? But in addition to that, it was more so how I felt. Like I started feeling like shit. Um, sorry, that was like explicit. But like
Oh, it's okay.
real, very like I felt like crap, right?
Mm.
Very much brain foggy. I was always tired, but when I slept, I would wake up and I would still feel tired,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was always lethargic. I was waking up like 5 minutes before my classes started, running to
Mhm.
class,
Mhm.
um, and I immense digestive issues, bro. I was always painfully bloated,
Mhm.
always. And I remember I would wake up and I would base my outfit based on the fact that I knew that later in the day I was going to be severely bloated and that I was going
Mhm.
to look differently and not be confident, right?
I feel that.
Um, and I was like, I would plan around like, oh my gosh, am I gonna be feeling crappy if I'm at this event? And there would be a lot of times where I would cancel on plans because I was like so in pain. Like
I
I'm
still
like,
do
bruh,
that
and I don't want to be outside. Like,
occasionally.
yeah, like you don't realize until it's you, like how much it affects you, like how much
Yeah.
you don't want to be outside and out and about or be
Mhm.
talking to people when you're like in pain or not
Right.
feeling your best. Like it
And
really
like
does affect you
when you're in pain, like all you can think about, especially like your stomach is literally connected to
to
everything,
everything,
especially like your
everything.
brain. So it's like if your stomach hurts, you can be like doubled over in pain, you know?
Hmm.
So it's like then it affects the way I like talk to people because
Hmm.
it's like I'll be
I'm not
like,
completely focused.
right, I'm focused on like, oh my God, my stomach hurts and I need to make it stop, you know?
Hmm.
And then I get anxious and like
Exactly.
start to sweat a little bit and I'm like, whoa, what did they just say? And I realized I wasn't really listening the
Listening,
whole
right?
time and
Yep.
like, damn, then it makes me look bad, but I'm like, look, I'm struggling.
Yeah, and it's like they again, you don't understand until like it's happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just feeling so crappy my first semester of freshman year. I went to the ER a few times for various different things. Like my
Wow.
own health was just like completely on the back burner. Like I lost it a little bit. In
Wow.
addition to this, like I said, freshman year freedom, I'm going out, I'm partying, I'm like my sleep schedule, boop,
What is it?
what is
Gone.
non-existent. I did, however, I remember I turned 18 my first semester of freshman year. Like I moved in and I was 17 because like I said,
I was
my
17
birthday's in
too.
September. And I remember I went to my doctor immediately and I was like, anxiety meds, please. Like
Hmm.
that was something I'd always struggled with, but because I was 18 and I could do it on my own, I was like, please. So that was one thing I had going for me.
Hmm.
But other than that, I'm like not actually taking care of myself, which in hindsight, I should have taken care of that before like going and asking for anxiety meds. But I can say now that I am like a healthier individual and I still need them. So
Period.
didn't make that much of a difference for me personally. But I digress. So over winter break, I was like, something's
Right.
gotta change, something's gotta change. Especially for me being like, I know that if the rest of my semesters in college look like this, I'm gonna end up dropping out at some point. Like
Hmm.
I'm gonna not gonna be able to handle it if this is how I'm gonna feel all the time. And for me, that's a big no
Hmm.
because I'm a first generation student. I don't know about you, but I was like,
Period.
that was like something I was very excited about going into college. Like, I'm going to be the first to do it.
Hmm.
And I wasn't going to like just give
Right,
that
give
up
that
for
up.
myself. Right. And I'm Hispanic and I just like, I'm very privileged in the fact that, my dad is a retired Marine
Hmm.
and his GI Bill pays for my schooling. And
Okay.
so that pays for my schooling and my parents out of pocket pay for my housing. So
Hmm.
like, I'm privileged and I can't like I know there are so many people that struggle to pay like while going to school pay for their own schooling themselves or like have issues paying for XYZ. And I was like I'm in such a privileged position that it would be so selfish or like to and just to like act like I don't have that privilege, right? You know,
Hmm.
um, knowing like going if I didn't change my habits going forward, knowing that that would affect if me staying in school. So I was like, no,
Hmm.
we're getting it together. And like I said, like I had always played volleyball, so I'd always been in like organized sports. But when you play a sport in high school, they kind of just tell you what workouts to do that will help you with your
Yeah.
sport, and they never teach you about nutrition, right? They
Right.
don't teach you about nutrition that's geared towards your goals.
Right. They
So
do like the baseline nutrition, which is like your what is that thing called? Like your food plate or something like
oh
that.
yeah, that's
But
like
like
in health class.
right,
Yeah,
and like that's it though. They don't do enough.
not yeah, not nearly enough. So I didn't know much starting
Right.
off. I was like, I don't like
Like why would
I was like,
you?
what do I do? So, but I wasn't gonna let that stop me because, like I said, I felt like crap. I was desperate for change, right? I
Hmm.
was sick and tired of feeling the way that I did, and honestly, it's sad that a lot of people, including myself, obviously, like we get to a point of like such severe exhaustion with our habits and like tiredness and like fed up with our own bullshit, and that's where what causes people to change. But it's sad that it has to get to that point, right? Like for
Hmm.
you to like actually take care of yourself. But you know, sometimes that's the wake up call you need, and that's what it was for me. So um, I just had two goals, and it was to get to the gym consistently. Again, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know
Hmm.
what I was gonna do. I just my goal was to get
Yeah.
there, and do what I could. And my
Yeah.
second goal was to just eat 3 meals a day,
Yeah.
like because previously I had either been restricting for so long or I was eating junk food all the time, right? So again, I didn't know anything about nutrition, so it was just like eat 3 meals of what I thought was healthy at the time with what I had, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to reframe my mindset to not be doing it for how I looked, but how I felt. So about 4 months in, I was being pretty consistent with those two goals. And of course it didn't happen overnight because I'm like fighting disordered eating habits and like what I like, you know, you're changing your lifestyle.
Hmm.
It's not easy.
Yeah. It
And I'm
doesn't
in
take a
college and
day.
I'm still in friends with these other people, which they were actually very helpful because my roommate, she's actually the one that invited me to the gym. Shout out Gabby. I say it all the time. Like if she started going to the gym second semester, um, did you used to go to the Planet Fitness?
Yeah.
So that's the
Hmm.
same one, the one across from Mary Wash.
Wow,
We
that's
would be
crazy.
up at like 5:15 in the morning. We would go.
Wow.
I remember she got up early one day, and I realized that she had left because our freshman year dorm room, like the door was really heavy, and so I'd hear her
Mm.
when she left because I'm a light sleeper. And she came back, and I was like, "Where'd you go?" And she was like, "I went to the gym." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And she was like, "Do you want to come next time?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, bet." And that's kind of how that started. So we would be up at like 5:15, bruh,
Hmm.
and we go to the gym, and like it felt so good. Like I felt like that feeling of doing something hard at the beginning of the day, like
Made
feeling
you
so
like
accomplished
proud.
before 9 a.m. Like
Yeah.
I fell in love with that. And that is really like that kept me going,
Hmm.
especially like having someone to do it with you. Like we got ready together and
Hmm.
we would drive together, like, okay, period.
Like accountability.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Hmm.
And then I made an effort to start eating better, like eating 3 meals a day.
Hmm.
And I would utilize my dining hall, right? Like I'm a freshman. Um, And after about 4 months, I started to feel a lot better. My digestive issues, that took a lot longer to fix, but like I
Mhm.
knew that I was like, you feel better when you're like, I'm doing everything that I can
Mhm.
actively versus like I just slayed on the couch all day and I ate like crap. Like you feel better when you know you're doing something to work towards a better you, right?
Mhm.
So that felt good. I felt stronger. And overall, I was just like less brain fog and less tired, but still like a little, it's a hard lifestyle, or it's hard to change from bad habits to better ones, right?
Yeah.
So I meet month 5 I meet Jordan, who is my current boyfriend, and he's a wellness coach. So he starts teaching me about nutrition. I hop on one of his programs, and what the heck? I literally changed for the better. Like it was just like I met him at the perfect time, and I always say like divine intervention. Like he was
Right.
sent to me, right? Because it was just like the perfect time in life.
Oh.
And I over the course of a year, I wish I had a picture to like, because some people won't see it on the podcast, or if you're watching from YouTube, you'd be able to see. But
We can try and put a
my
picture in.
like before and after, it just looks completely different. But the actual weight fluctuation is like about 5 pounds, give or take. So like I
Mhm.
lost fat and I gained muscle, and I just look completely different, even though the difference in the scale is about 5 pounds, which is why I always say frick the scale,
Yeah.
because like
Right?
depending on what your goals are and what you decide to do and how what your results look like, the scale might not show what you can visually see, right?
Mhm.
um, but through that year I was able to learn about nutrition and learn what was better for my body. I started taking herbal aloe, which helped me immensely, like just drinking it in my water, in my tea, taking shots of it. And so that better nutrition, what put good in, get good out. Like I almost never struggle with bloating anymore.
Wow.
But I know that's not the case for like so many people.
Like me over
Like your lucky self.
here.
I used to think I had IBS, but I realized I was just putting bad in my body, and it was just not giving. Like obviously you can't expect to put like fry oil into a
Yeah.
car and expect for it to run,
Right.
right? Like so for some people that nutrition will definitely like like me change everything.
Mhm.
um I pray for you, girly. IBS is like I've never. I remember. I think the first time we got on a call, you probably remember me being like, "Wow, I've
Yeah.
never heard of someone having it that
Mhm.
severely."
Yeah, no, it's rough. Like we had a call, like I think it was like about 2 months ago now, just to like go over everything and like my goals and stuff like that, and just offer advice and everything to me. And I remember just seeing her face as I was explaining, because she was like, "Well, how about you try this?" And I was like, "Oh, I've tried it." Like there were just some things, but it's like I think my biggest struggle is like breakfast, just because like, and I think I've explained it on here, like the only thing I can eat for breakfast is Eggo waffles, and like I I can try eggs, sometimes it'll work, but it's like it just varies on the day,
Which is
and
so. I feel like that's so frustrating,
mm,
though. Like,
it
oh
is,
my goodness.
especially with like the different schedule, because like for work I'm hybrid, so like Mondays and Wednesdays I'm in Richmond, and then the rest of the week I'm here. And so the days that I'm in Richmond, I'm getting up around like 6:45ish to get there by 9, and my body's like, whoa, why are we up this early, and then it's like, oh, you want breakfast? Like, because I'll be like driving up the road, I haven't even eaten yet. I will put toaster, or I'll put Eggos in the toaster right before I leave, and then won't eat them until I'm 30 minutes up the road, because I know I only have 30 minutes left, and if anything goes wrong, I can make it there. And I'll eat cold Eggos that were already toasted and once hot. So it's like on that trip, like I'll be starving, like my first, like pretty much starting when I get in the car, I'm like ready to eat, but I'm like, I can't do it yet. But I've kind of like altered that mindset a little bit the longer I've been working, because I was super like really anxious when I started my job, because I didn't know those people. Like
Yeah, it's a new
now,
environment. Yeah.
yeah, and like now we're all super tight and like everything, and I love everybody in my office. So it's like I go there with confidence every morning, whether or like, whereas in the beginning I was like super anxious and didn't want to be
That will
there.
affect your stomach. Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
gosh.
like my brain just like really messes my whole vibe up. And then like now I can like eat right when I get in the car and like go up, but it varies like depending on what I ate the day before, like like all that stuff. So
Well, so do you feel like you've kind of just learned to live with it like that.
Yeah. And like the last girl that I had on the podcast, hey Katie, she was telling me that when you're ovulating and when you're on your period, your bowel movements are way worse and like your
Yeah,
stomach
I
issues
can
are
see
worse,
that. Yeah.
especially with like IBS.
Yeah.
So I never
Cheers to
took
being a woman.
right, period. And like I never took that into account. Like I obviously knew like, everybody talks about the period shits, like that's a big thing. And I didn't know about the ovulating thing. Like if you have IBS, it's like a million times
That
worse.
makes sense though.
I didn't know that, and I've been tracking that as of like ever since she told me, because we talked about it long before she was on the podcast, and I was like, "There's no way, like, how is that even possible?"
Right.
But your cycle's out of whack, your hormones are out of whack. It
Yeah,
makes so
all
much
of the inner
sense.
workings. Yeah. You know what I
So,
wonder would help you? Have you ever heard about raspberry tea?
yes,
Raspberry
yeah.
leaf.
My mom drinks it
Because I mean,
yeah.
and I know that's like specifically a thing for menstrual cycles and menstrual cramps, but like I wonder, like I remember the first girl that I talked to about it, she was like, honestly, don't just drink it on your period, drink it all the time. Like drink it whenever, drink it off your period, drink it like whenever.
Like how often? Like once a day?
Like I think it's just like the more the better type vibe, but so that's what I did. Like I just drink it like about once a week when I'm off my period, and every night before bed when I'm on my period. And since that's like a menstrual cramp thing, I wonder if that would help any. Doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah,
Doesn't hurt to try.
You know what? I'll try it and I'll let you know. Is this like the raspberry hibiscus or just raspberry?
Raspberry leaf.
Oh,
raspberry leaf. I think I got mine at Walmart.
Okay.
Can't lie. And it's actually pretty good. I actually put my aloe in it to sweeten it because people use like stevia, sugar, honey. I use my aloe because I like that.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I'll definitely try it and I'll let you know because I mean,
Can't
why
hurt.
not? Can't hurt to try,
Well,
right?
Unless it does hurt.
But well,
you'll find out.
I'll find out. Yeah. And I'll let you know too. But yeah, I mean, I will definitely say I've stopped like giving a shit like as of recently, just because like I have to just to keep living like
you can't like thinking about it all the time, like being so
I feel
like that gives you anxiety too, right?
Yes. Like I never had anxiety in my life until the stomach stuff started happening.
Wow.
And then I just got anxious about the stomach stuff, and then it made me anxious about everything else.
And it's a cycle, and it makes it worse. And
Right.
You're,
and then starting this job, it was like times a million with the anxiety. So then my stomach hurt more, But it's like it's just always been there lingering. So I was like, especially this last month, I was like, I need to stop like carrying, and like this month I've literally only had like 2 flare-ups, and it was last week because I was ovulating, like the fertile window.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's something. And then I bet you in 2 weeks when my period comes, like I'll have like one flare-up maybe. But it's like I have literally limited it down to like 2 like IBS attacks like a month. And
that's crazy calling it like that, because that's what it IBS attacks.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna ask you a question, then we can switch over.
Okay.
I feel like the answer might be like a little like you might be like, oh, TMI, but what does a typical IBS attack look like for you?
Oh, girl, like there's multiple different scenarios of that. But okay, so like the one that I've been having most recently, because like back when I was like peak like stomach issues, like having IBS attacks every single day was like it was different every single day. But now it's pretty much generally the same, and it's like I know my trigger foods like real well now. Like pizza, can't do it. Mexican food, can't do it. But I'll do it. I just don't care. You know what I'm
said
saying?
I'll suffer the repercussions later.
Like
YOLO.
I typically know that Mexican food will most likely constipate me for at least a day or 2.
That's crazy.
So, but I enjoy it. And these foods that are like my trigger foods, I'll eat on days that I know I don't have anything crazy going on. Like if I'm working from home, who gives a shit what I eat, Like, and so like I'll typically have like my Eggos in the morning, but then like my meal prep for lunch, and that usually either because it's like a lot of protein, and a lot of protein can make me like go really quickly, but it's like healthy. It's not like an IBS attack, which I've been loving. And so, but like a typical one recently has just been like, I don't know, because like I was telling my family like I don't have IBS attacks as often anymore. I usually just have the stomach aches where it just will fizzle out. But when I do have an IBS attack, I'll literally tell them like, oh my God, I haven't had one in like 2 weeks, and I forgot how terrible they are. And so like the recent ones have just been like, like I'll feel that initial twist in my stomach. Like I had kava for the first time in my life last week with a friend.
That's so crazy.
And we were just talking, catching up for a while, and we were there for maybe like an hour and 45, and then the weather started getting bad, so we were leaving, and right when I got in the car, it was like twist in
Oh.
my stomach, and I was like, well, I know that feeling all too well. I need to get my ass home. So then I'm driving home and I make it like, cause it was a good like 20, 25 minutes away from me. So I get like right into the neighborhood and I always say like, my stomach knows when I'm in the neighborhood.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a GPS, like, or not a GPS, it's like a Bluetooth. Like,
did you know that turtles they go back to nest at the same place that they were born, like that they were hatched? I feel like it's right. They have that like
it's yes.
I'm home.
Yeah, like how? And so my stomach always knows, and it's like Bluetooths right to like the bathroom, and I'm like, no, like wait, give me 5 minutes, because like you saw my neighborhood driving in here. It's like,
bro,
I'm deep in
speeding. I would be speeding. Oh my gosh, no stomach, just wait.
Yeah, and so I'm sitting there, and I literally, right when I entered the development, I call my mom because my legs started going numb, and I was like, because it's like, I've talked about this before where it's like, your stomach will literally, like, do you see how my stomach's relaxed right now?
Mm-hmm.
It will tighten and like go in as if I'm sucking in, and then my stomach will literally press on this vagus nerve and it can cause you to faint. And so the girl that I just interviewed,
I think you told me.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The girl that I just had on the podcast last, she faints from them, or used to. She doesn't anymore, but she used to faint, like literally pass out and wake up. And I'm like, what? You know, like, and that's
the human body is crazy,
right? And that's never happened to me. But I have blacked out like once or twice, but it's like, that's just like a fade in, fade out type thing. Like I was still like,
conscious.
Yeah, like I knew what was going on. But so in the car, I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, my feet, like my legs are going numb because the pain it's pushing down so hard on that nerve. And I'm getting like a little dizzy and I just don't feel good. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it home. And she's like, it's okay. Just talk to me. Keep driving, you know? So I just have to keep driving. And she's like, so how was dinner? And I'm like, it's good. It was great. Like, I had so much fun talking with her, and the food was phenomenal, you know? And I like
phenomenal, but not phenomenal. Oh my god.
Yeah, so then like I get home and like it's just like a complete emptying of my stomach, like as if I took Miralax or like laxatives of any kind, or even prep for like a colonoscopy, like that crazy. And then it's funny after a flare up, because I'll typically go up to like 4 to 8 times after a flare up. Wow. Mm-hmm. And then I won't go like for the next 2 days because I literally emptied everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It just kind of feels like you're dying for just like 2 minutes, but like not crazy.
You're a trooper. What the heck?
But it's only like 2 times a month now, which, you know what?
I'll take it.
Glass half empty for me. Like glass half empty.
Full.
What did I just say? Glass half full. What do you mean, Maya? Like, yeah. So I'm just like proud because like I used to look at it like glass half empty. Like, oh my god, like my life is like ruined because of this. Where it's like, now I'm like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. I just hope there's a bathroom nearby.
That's so real. Yeah. So what? You said Mexican food and pizza. Is there anything else that like you were like, I can't touch that?
Oh man, any dairy I can't touch.
Ugh, that's so rough.
Desserts like chocolate just will, you know, that twisting thing that I told you about, like the feeling. Chocolate will definitely give that to me. Yeah, but like
I can imagine.
I typically don't really eat desserts anyways or chocolate anyways, just because like I lost my taste and my smell to COVID like 4 years ago, and I still haven't gotten it fully back. Same with my mom. We can't eat peanut butter because it tastes and smells terrible. Chocolate we are starting to get back to now, like the strawberries from Alma. My mom was really worried because she was like, what if I don't like the chocolate? Like, because it keeps tasting bitter. And then she ate them. She loved it.
That's so good. Shout out Alma.
Shout out Alma.
Oh my gosh. Those things are so good.
Yeah, I know. If Cam can have a picture, here's a picture of the strawberries we got for Mother's Day for my mom.
I'll send the ones that Jordan and I got for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, they're so cute. And they taste phenomenal. Like, if, like, for the COVID taste that makes everything bitter, it totally It was so
So good.
good.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But yeah, I typically stay away from all dairy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lactose intolerant, like mildly.
Mm-hmm.
I can have like cheese and ice cream in moderation,
Yeah.
but if I drink straight milk,
Oh,
bathroom,
done.
bathroom, gone, done. Gas,
Yeah.
bloating,
Yeah.
pain. So,
Mm-hmm.
funny story. Not so funny. It's funny now that it's happened and I can laugh at it.
It's over.
But there's a Panera at my school.
Oh, is this the Panera story?
Please
Please tell it. I already know this one,
What
but
a
please
rough
tell it.
day. So, I don't drink too much coffee. Like, I mean, I love good iced coffee, but I wouldn't order iced coffee from Panera
Mm-mm.
often. This
Mm-mm.
particular day, I was like kind of tired and I was like, I knew I had a long rest of the day ahead of me. So I went ahead and I got in line for Panera to get an iced coffee. And because I never order coffee at Panera or order coffee anyways, if I have coffee, it's probably because like if I am ordering coffee, it's probably because I'm in a cute town and there's a cute like little coffee shop nearby, or I'm making it at my house. I digress. Since I don't order it out that often, I just forgot simply to ask for almond milk. Forgot, meaning I was drinking straight milk, and obviously it was like a chocolate latte. So obviously I downed like half of it before I realized. I'm like sipping it. And I'm like, I didn't order almond milk. I'm like, this is straight milk, and so. Honestly, I probably should have just drank the rest of it because at that point it was too late. We were too far gone. No, I threw it away because I was like, I cannot believe that I did that. Like so I eat my lunch and I walk back to my apartment. And as I'm walking back to my apartment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go. I have to go. I have to go. And what makes it even funnier, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go. I have to go. I have to go. There's 3 stories of the apartment building that I live in, and there are balconies outside of all of them. And so my friend is on the 3rd floor and she's on her balcony, and her girlfriend is an RA, and she goes, "Hey, CJ said we're about to have a fire drill." And I was like, no.
Oh
This is
my
my
God.
worst nightmare.
I forgot about that.
This is my worst nightmare. And so I'm like, frick. So I go immediately to the bathroom, and I'm there for like a good 10 minutes. And as soon as I am washing my hands, the fire alarm goes off, and I was like, amazing. We did it. We did it, soldiers. But yeah, safe to say, I'll never forget to order almond milk ever again because that was so rough. And like, I haven't been drinking milk for, I think, at least since I was like freshman year in high school. So like, drank straight milk, frick me up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, straight like bread, like wheat bread, white bread, like normal like loaf breads.
Oh, yeah,
I
breads.
can't.
I can't do it.
I'll eat sourdough bread. Sourdough bread is a lot better on my digestive system.
I heard that's actually the best.
Yeah,
food.
yeah. That's why I started because I saw it somewhere and I was like, okay, I'll try it. And
Yeah.
I love a good avocado toast with
Does
on
avocado
sourdough.
not hurt you?
No, avocado.
Oh, that's
well,
what
you
got me from
you got
Papa.
it. You got it
Yeah,
crazy, girl.
well,
I don't. But
yeah.
like, see, bread will bloat me, painfully bloated. If I have too much bread, I know this from experience. If I have too much bread, I will feel like I have to, like, I'll be clogged. I'll feel like I have to go to the bathroom,
But you can't.
for days.
Oh,
But like days, and I will look pregnant, so you can tell it's there.
Right.
It's stuck, and I feel like I have to go, but I can't. That's the worst feeling. That's probably. I would argue that is worse than having like bubble guts and sitting on the toilet. I don't know, because I'm like, I hate feeling clogged like that. Like, another thing, you don't know until it's happening to you, bro.
Right.
Like, so sourdough bread, strictly. I found that some like what are they called? English muffins. I can have like one of those. Like, I just don't go crazy with bread during the day. Like, what's another thing? I don't have a lot of spicy foods anymore.
I don't either.
I used to have like the spiciest sauce on my Chipotle bowls, but I can't do that anymore. And I don't like having heavy amounts of rice. I know that that's a food that a lot of people with stomach issues actually is pretty safe for them, but I've noticed that like white rice doesn't sit as well as brown rice does.
Does it bloat you?
It kind of just bloats me, and it has me just on the toilet for a second.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? I feel you though.
But if I'm ever in a situation like a holiday, an occasion, or I'm like, I'm gonna have that because YOLO, that's when I'll put my aloe in my water before and after, or I'll have an aloe shot, and I'm just like, okay, what happens happens. Like I know that like my aloe will just like at least what is it called, like dilute the symptoms. But I mean, not with milk. If I were to drink straight milk, we're gone. Nothing's saving me at that point. But
you know, it's so funny, for like all of my holidays, like my whole family knows about the stomach issues and stuff by now because it's been so long. But like especially the last, like I think Thanksgiving and Christmas, like my whole family was over and they were like I would fill my plate up, you know, because Thanksgiving, like when else am I gonna eat this shit, you know? So I would like fill my plate up with like as much as I could because I want to try everything. And like especially this year, like I wanted to try, because I never really have liked stuffing or like any of that stuff, but so I tried it and I really like it. And it's funny because like I was out like mingling with everybody, and then I was gone for a little while. And everyone knows in my family now, they're like, oh, she's just going to disappear for a little bit. It's okay.
How it's going to be. But at least you enjoyed the food. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Oh, man. I really like my mom's mac and cheese. She does like a baked mac and cheese.
I won't even have mac and cheese. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh, really? You know what? That's the one day I will. I don't eat mac and cheese year round except for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, Thanksgiving, I'm usually pretty like hefty anyways. So like I'll have like you, like I'll get a little bit of everything. I'll come back for seconds of the things that I like really, really enjoy. For me, it's usually like I always just have as much protein as I can anyway. So I'll always get like seconds of like I don't even love Thanksgiving turkey unless it's moist. Yeah, exactly. Unless it's more. You know what? This past Thanksgiving, I actually had my regular Thanksgiving, and then I had like 3 Friendsgivings. I was like, oh, I have friends? Okay. And it was actually, so one of them was like for my fellowship group. One of them was just an you know my best friend Ellie, a redhead. Yeah.
She was at the camp too. Yes, she was at the camp.
She was at the camp. All of her coworkers, she like was having a Friendsgiving, and so she invited me, and I was like, oh sweet.
Oh, that's sweet.
So that one I'll say that one was the cutest. And then I had like a college Friendsgiving, and the turkey at the college Friendsgiving was the best.
Really?
Can you believe it? Yes. It was one of my old roommates' boyfriends that made it. And it was the juiciest turkey I've ever had. Amen. Thank you, Ben. Great. It was so good.
Shout out Ben. I don't even know you.
It was so good. I was like, who would have thought that the broke college kid made the best turkey?
Right?
Okay.
What?
But definitely turkey. I like veggies. I don't know if corn on the cob.
Yes.
On the cob though.
Yes.
On the cob.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, my you know what? You probably like one of my roommates that was at the college Friendsgiving. You guys could probably relate on a lot, but I don't think she has IBS. We don't really know what's wrong with her. I hate to say it that way.
Has she like gotten like testing and stuff done?
She's gotten a lot of allergy testing done, so she's allergic to 5 things. But like at least once a month, she gets like severely sick, and like she's like, I feel like I'm gonna die. Like puking, like nonstop puking vibe. Like at least once a month. And I think she went a while, like a few months from her birthday in October up until like recently, like 2 months ago, I think was like her next, like that's quite a long time. But she's gluten free, so allergic to soy, allergic to sesame, allergic to corn.
Is that like celiac?
I don't know if she has celiac disease.
You can't have gluten.
She doesn't. I think she's allergic. I think that's one of the things she's allergic to. Gluten. There's 5 things. Corn, soy, sesame, gluten. There's another thing.
Is it like some type of oil by any chance? Like olive oil?
No. I remember we used to have like a list on our whiteboard in our apartment, like things Gabby can't have. Yeah. But I just like I remember she got allergy tested our freshman year of college. And she was like, I think I'm gonna go gluten free. And me being me, I was like, I don't believe you. I don't think you're actually gonna do it. Like knowing her, I was like, you're not gonna do it. No, I love you, but she actually did, and she stuck with it. Like, wow. So
that's an expensive thing. Though.
She doesn't know. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I thought I had celiac because like the doctor, he was like, you know what? Like while we wait for your blood work and everything to come back, and
you should just go gluten free and see.
And so I bought all these gluten free freaking ingredients, and then it came back that I didn't have celiac, and I was like,
Well, what am I gonna do with all
Good
that?
thing I spent an extra like maybe $20 on all this stuff. Whereas if I would have just bought the regular stuff, yeah, it
No,
sucks
yeah.
that it's so expensive to like take care of your
To,
health.
yeah, to, yeah, to take care of your and don't get me on that soapbox because I'll go on. I'll go on about how the system is rigged and it's supposed to
Right?
make you sick, bro. Like
Right?
America.
I feel that. I feel that our food is literally poisoning us. I swear to God, my mom and I were talking about this because like she's always had stomach issues, but not like it is now.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's like 56. So it's like, sorry, mom, I know you're actually like 33, but
Oh,
no.
yeah. You're 33,
Yeah,
right.
right. That's our joke. Like I cannot say her age, but so she has never had it this bad, and then like in the last like recent years, like it's like all this stuff coming out about, oh, like this is recalled, that's recalled, this is bad for you, this is bad for you. We've
Your
been
meat
eating
is
it
yeah.
this whole time, and I'm like, bro. And then conveniently, her and I just get stomach issues at the same time.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Cue me serious music. But no, for real. And like because I like that's my take on everything. I'm like, if everything is like there's extra crap put in everything, there's extra ingredients, added sugar to like everything for literally God knows what. Like, why is there extra sugar in ketchup? Like, why is there sugar in ketchup? Why? Absolutely why.
Makes sense.
And because I know that, I'm like I try my best, but I'm like, I'm never like it's never gonna be 100% clean because like we live in America. Have you seen like the posts? Not even the posts. Like I've seen like since I have access to school databases, I use them when I want to go down a rabbit hole. But I know that there are Instagram posts that state the same things that I've seen in research. It'll have the ingredients of like whatever snack it is in the US, and it'll have the same snack somewhere else, like in the UK or in Canada, and the ingredients are so different, and there's all this added crap in America. So I'm like, just why? Literally
why? Can't you just copy and paste? Like,
that was funny,
dude. I just am so tired of
no facts.
Like I swear to God, like I need to go because I want to go like somewhere else, like in like not in this country, to like try out the foods and stuff.
You should go for like a month and see like what happens to your stomach, bro.
I'm low-key like, well,
let's go. Follow me. Let's go. When are we going?
Right? Like,
I'm down.
For real.
I'm down. I'm so down. So
dude, yeah.
I heard this story of this girl one time. She said that she grew up not in the US. Forget what country it was that she lived in. And when they moved to the US, she was so young, she was so tiny, and she said that she wouldn't eat anything, and her parents couldn't get her to eat, and they didn't know why. And their theory was that it is all this extra stuff that's in the US food that she didn't like the taste of it and like didn't like it. So I thought that was interesting because I was like, that like literally meant like, why else wouldn't you eat food if you're a hungry little kid that wants food? Like,
like how would you even know
the
difference?
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. Okay. All right.
Me adjusting.
You want to go to a different topic? Or wait, you need to talk about the clubs and everything and your internship and all of your involvement and everything.
I mean, it's not like that cool.
I think
it's kind of like it just adds to my busy life. I don't know, my internship in the comm office, I like half the time it doesn't even feel like a job. It is a paid internship, so I consider that my job.
Wonderful.
I'm not on for the summer just because they can only have one intern for the summer, and like I told you, I'm doing that field school that's 6 weeks. So I was like, I can't just be there before and after. Like they can only have one paid on. But I digress. It doesn't feel like work half the time, and I'll be like, am I actually like, do I need to clock in right now? I'm like, yes, this is work. This is what, like, making the mic talks that I do, the reels that I make for it's so crazy. So and my major is in something totally different because like you, if I hadn't have told you, I've told you that I'm doing this archaeological field school, and so that's like completely different than fitness or like nutrition and or social media and stuff. But my major is historic preservation, and first of all, half the time when I say that, people are like, oh, so like museums, or it's either that or they're like, what is that?
Yeah, right.
And I've kind of just gotten used to it at this point because people will also think that it's like a really super easy major, and like
There's no way. How would do you know what?
I'm
I
glad I'm
remember
glad that's like common sense to you
well
because
the first time cuz I think when I realized cuz I saw Jordan at the gym like my first week there and I was like I've seen that face. And I was like, I looked at your Instagram and I was like, there he is. But then I was like talking to him about you and I was like, so what's her major and everything? And then he told me and I was like, holy shit, like that's like you gotta be smart and like
bro,
dedicated. Cause like
I don't know about smart, but
I
I'm
couldn't do
trying.
that. I really couldn't do that. That sounds like I mean, don't you have to do a lot of like science and like math and like well, it's history
I'm so
too.
glad that's common sense to you.
Yeah.
But historic preservation specifically, I like to say that's like it's a field, not a discipline. There are
Mm-hmm.
multiple disciplines within that field.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I take classes in architecture, I take classes in archaeology, I take classes in building forensics, urban planning,
Mm-hmm.
museum curation,
Mm-hmm.
all of the things. My specific interest is just archaeology. But in this specific program, there's a lot of focus on buildings, which I don't love, but like it is fun to learn about sometimes, depending on the class. But yes, lots in the architecture class specifically. It's like there's physics and
Mm.
there's like a lot of numbers to look at.
Ugh.
There's a lot of research in building forensics. If you're like doing research on old buildings to have documentation on them for the future, and like a lot of like for two of my classes thus far, and I believe I'll have to do it again next year, is literally measuring a building, measuring to
Mm-hmm.
make a floor plan, an accurately scaled floor plan. I have to draw it by hand. It
Right.
takes a very long time,
Yep.
and it's very like tedious, and you need more than one person to do the measurements. And it's like, I know you guys can't see right now, but think about the window panes, or like the window framing around your windows and all of the little crevices in the little window framing. You have to measure all of that
Man.
to the like 0.1 of an inch, like whatever. Like it's annoying, it's tedious, and I hate those classes because I like archaeology. I'm like, why am I doing this? But it's a requirement for the program, whatever. And people, if you meet me off of social media or in the gym or somewhere, a lot of people never expect me to say historic preservation is my major because they see all of the fitness and my
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my content creation, and so a lot of people will guess like, oh, like exercise science or
Content
like
creation,
yeah,
digital
like
media,
digital, what is it,
digital marketing, media.
communications major, digital
Mm.
marketing. People guess all of those things. I'm like, oh no, no. But it's just because I came into college knowing that I wanted to major in historic preservation. So as soon as I could declare my major, I did. And by the time that I started content creation, like really just sharing my fitness journey, like sophomore year. So like
Mm.
I was in my fitness journey that second semester of freshman year, and I started sharing in sophomore year.
Yeah.
At that point, it was just what it was, like sharing my journey. And so I never like took it like, oh, like I could do this as like I never thought that. So I
Mm.
kept taking my historic prize classes, da da da. And so by the time I was like actually like getting some traction and like really enjoying it and like really like just like, oh, I can do this. Like
Mm.
I was already so far into my major, and I still like my major. So I was
Yeah.
like, I don't think I want to change it. And in addition to that, like I don't know, like this historic preservation, like that's something that since I was in like the fifth grade, I was like, archaeology, like that's what I'm gonna do.
That's so
And
funny.
especially because like I don't want to say hate, that's a strong word. I've like highly disliked my major lately, but it's because I'm taking so many building classes
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's not my interest, right? So like obviously if you're like taking classes that you don't love,
Yeah.
but I'm doing this field school now, so I'm super excited for that because I'll actually be like in the dirt,
Right.
literally
Yeah.
in the dirt. And like I know that's not the probably that sounds so nerdy. I'm gonna be in the dirt digging. Like that's not normal. You don't hear that a lot, but
No,
that
I
is
think
what I
that's
love.
fun because, like, you don't really meet a lot of people who want to do that, and I
Yeah.
think that's really fun. Like, I mean, when I was little and like in classes and they would talk about fossils and like even stuff, you know how like you could go do tours around downtown and stuff and like learn about the buildings and like the how like there's like still bomb like holes
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
like in the like
Cannons.
yeah, cannons, yeah. And it was just so fascinating, but I was just like I didn't even know that you could learn like more about that. And I feel like UMW is really good for like different majors that are like more like
Niche.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I always loved history. I've always been like a history and English were like my thing, but
Mhm.
I never wanted to just major in history because I was like, one, I can do that anywhere. I
Yeah.
can literally do that anywhere. And two, I was like, what am I gonna do with that? Like, I don't want to be a professor or a teacher. I
Yeah,
was like, I'm not
yeah.
gonna teach history. Like, I
Mhm.
know. So what I like to say is like like I wanted to be doing stuff hands on, like I wanted to be in the field. And so perfect because historic preservation is literally just like the application of
Mhm.
history. Like you're in the nitty gritty and you get to do stuff.
Mhm.
You need to know about history and then you get to go do stuff in relation to it. So it's really cool. Um, and a lot of people are like, so what are you gonna do after school? And I'm like, girl, I thought I knew and like I don't anymore because I
Oh.
love wellness coaching for real.
Mhm.
But I think I'll need to like I think I want as of right now, this could change. I just trust God and I pray about it, you know?
Mhm.
I am like hopefully I can get a job out of college in this field
Yeah.
that I'm studying, especially with this field school under my belt.
Oh
That's
yeah, for
assuming that
sure.
I pass the final exam.
You will.
I'm gonna pass though. It's already spoken into the world. Um, but I would love to get a job in that field and then like work my coaching business part time until
Mhm.
I can like sustain myself, like work that income up until I'm like feel comfortable like going full time. However long that takes, that's not up to me. That's God's plan.
Right,
Like I'm
right.
just like that's just like what I'm saying is my plan. Like who knows what'll actually happen, but I really do love like running my business from social media. I found that like I thrive when I'm creating stuff.
Oh,
Like
well, good.
and like I realized that that's not like everyone's case, but I've always been in like the arts. So
Mhm.
like when I was in middle school, I hate like riding on this horse. Like I feel like if people from high school watch it would be like, shut up about that already. But like it's just always been from an early age, like something in the arts, doing something, and you know, like arts is creating anything. But
Yeah.
I was Jasmine in Aladdin,
Oh,
and so
period.
I like singing.
Yeah.
I was in choir in middle school, choir
Mhm.
throughout high school. I started photography while I was in middle school, which is
Yeah.
like I feel like a young age to start photography.
Yeah.
I'm not like the greatest photographer in the whole world, but I thrive when I'm like behind the camera. I love
Mhm.
it, but I also love being in front of the camera and
Mhm.
modeling and
Yeah.
doing creative concepts. In middle school, I drew a cover for a yearbook. So like I have a yearbook and it's like my art on it. Um, and then in like I said in high school, all throughout high school, photography. I took photography way more seriously in high school. I remember I was in the National Honor Society and you needed like a certain like there was a big medal that you got to wear at
Oh,
graduation if
yeah,
you did
yeah.
like 100 service hours. And I
Mhm.
remember doing photo shoots for free to get service
Really?
hours. Yes, and that got me a lot of experience. And in addition to that, I've always liked posting on Instagram, like
Mhm.
making pretty things to post on Instagram. And
Yeah.
I had a leadership class, and my professor, if she needed any type of banner made or like card made or like a flyer made, she would always ask me to do it. And
Oh.
that's where I started with Canva. If you are a
Mhm.
creator, you know the
Canva.
Canva train.
Mhm.
Um, and I've always just liked like aesthetics. Like I've loved painting. In quarantine, I did a lot of painting. Oh my gosh, my
Really?
whole family would have Bob Ross movie night or paint nights where we would just follow Bob Ross thing.
That
And
sounds so
I've
fun.
always loved drawing. I've had a sketch like I have a whole sketchbook. I
Mhm.
did painting classes at one point. So I always just like making stuff.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize like how I could thrive like in content creation until I started following so many more people in the fitness world and seeing how they ran their business and their account and what is like branding. That's why I've loved this internship that I have right now, like
Mhm.
learning about branding and marketing your business. And I just love learning about branding because just seeing all of the different colors and the fonts that go together and like how that can effectively get people to come to your page and XYZ. I took a social media class this semester too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
realize I'm like going on, like, you just got me talking. Um, Creation, I just thrive. Like,
Right.
it's all really exciting. And I think maybe that's like an outcome of ADHD brain. Like, I like just always doing something
Yeah,
new and like
yeah.
creating something and seeing how it looks. Um, and that is like so completely different than my major. And so that's why when people ask like what I want to do, I'm like, I have no clue. Don't ask me.
Right.
Don't ask me. I don't know anymore, because I'm like this. Like I feel so happy, and like my brain feels like more free when I'm like creating something. Or maybe it's deadlines that makes me feel like not like,
Right.
but isn't that not
Yeah.
the same for everyone? So these are my thoughts when I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what the future holds, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, it's honestly like the best of both worlds for you. Like, like you're doing the one thing you've always wanted to do, and then you've like fallen in love with like
Yeah.
creating things.
And
What's your meet or minor?
I don't have a minor.
Oh,
No, I
okay,
could have minored
period.
in museum studies, but I do so many things on the side that I was like, I'm not even going to take up that many more
Right.
credits. Like, I'm not going to do
That
that,
would be
because
insane.
I'm also the president of Girl Gains, which
Mm-hmm.
is a female weightlifting and empowerment club on campus. And so I find myself like my plate is full, and
Mm-hmm.
people, I don't know if you like get it. Like, when you do that many things, people will be coming to you and asking if you can do X, Y,
This,
and
and
Z. And
that.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I can't do more. I
Mm-mm.
can't do more.
No.
Um,
Because it's like your plate's already so full, and
mhm.
like it's hard to say no almost, but then it's like
Yeah.
unless you want to literally never sleep
No, and I
or have
value
your own life.
I value my sleep. I value
Yeah.
sleep. I value fun times. I value family time.
Yeah.
Um, and I sometimes, with all of this on my plate, find myself falling short in some areas. So I'm like, I can't even like add any more, because I try my best. Like, I try and give my all to everything is on my plate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also like sleep.
Right, right. And like your own personal time,
Yeah.
like sometimes that's why like the last 3 weeks I haven't done podcasting is
Yeah.
because like, like I pick up hobbies because I don't want it to feel like work,
Right.
and like because I'm already working all day every day, and then I picked up podcasting so that it would be something to look forward to, and then like the last few weeks it was just like a
It's
ton
not.
going on,
Yeah.
so then it felt like work, and it's not just sitting here and talking, like
Right.
Cam does
Editing.
all the editing and everything, but it's like I still have to make the posts and like actively post them, and then I keep forgetting, and it's
Yeah.
like sometimes I just want to like sit in bed and rot for just one night.
Favorite activity, girl
Just one night,
rotting.
maybe, because it's like I still got to go to the gym. I do training at our gym, and then it's like, like me and him have picked up pickleball and tennis, and like,
Slay
do you
pickleball.
know what? It's like now that the like because we have terrible allergies, so
Oh
like
my
in the
gosh.
beginning of like allergy season, we were not outside. Like every time I went outside, I was sick. So then
Wow.
now that it's kind of like kind of calming down, like we're still, you hear us, we're still sniffling, but it's like we'll go outside because we can now as much as we can. Before it gets like 90 degrees out, and then it's like kind of unbearable.
Right.
But yeah, that's like, not to go on that tangent, but it's like you want to do all these things that you love because it doesn't feel like work. Like
Right.
it's distracting.
Right.
And like as you said, like with the like your major, the further you've gotten in, it's like you kind of haven't loved that part, but it's like, the content creation and everything is something you can look forward to.
Exactly. And that's why, like, at times where it's been so hectic, I'm like, content creation comes second to school, but I'm like, this is like my, like, where I get to be free and like create whatever I want. So I'm like, I can't just stop that. Like, I don't,
Mm.
because I still, even when I'm like, I have to get this post done, and that would like seem like work to some people, I'm like, this is still where I get to like be free, and like I get to post whatever I want, and it's still running my business, but I get to do it how I want.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, that's why I like working for myself, because
Mhm.
I'm like, I mean, the internship is one thing, and then the running my business is my content creation on my account. And that's why I also didn't want to make a second separate account
Mhm.
for my fitness, because like it's my fitness, like it's my fitness journey, because that's what it started off as
Mhm.
to begin with. So that's what
Yeah.
I want to keep it as well, in
Mhm.
addition to marketing my business and just my personal account, because
Mhm.
I don't want to keep those things separate. Like, it just
Mhm.
is, this is just, I'm just showing people how I live day to day, and whether it's the
Right.
gym or it's me hanging out with my family.
Mhm.
And I think it's important to show all of those aspects, because I show the days where I'm not eating healthy food. Like, I show
Mhm.
everything, because
Yeah, I
like
like
that's
when
the
you do that.
reality of it.
Yeah.
Like, that, yes. And like, some people might look at me and be like, well, like the way you live isn't realistic. But I'm like, that's why I want to
But
show it
how
all.
not?
That's why I want to show it all, is because like just by looking and seeing seeing all the fitness on my account, people might be like, that's not realistic for people that
Mm-hmm.
work every day. But I'm like, it's
Yeah.
just a job. Like that's why it looks so fitnessy, because it's my
Mm-hmm.
job to help other people
Yeah.
get into it, you know.
And like, you
um
know what? Also, like, you have the time right now for it. You know, like,
that's what I always say.
these
I'm like,
people
I'm
don't
gonna,
understand,
yeah,
like, you know, like me, because we're all in different parts of our lives, you know, like right now you're in college and you're doing all these like different things, but it's like you still make time to do what you love because that's what you're doing. Like
right.
you're a coach, you know?
And that's why I'm so glad that I started this now, because I'll be able to show my fitness and wellness journey in every season of my life. And
Yeah.
I've seen some salty people on the internet be like not to me specifically, but I've seen them hating on younger fitness content creators like me, like you don't have kids, you don't like blah blah
Uh,
blah. Like I'm not impressed by that, and I'm
why'd
like,
you have a kid then?
I always want to say, but I'm
I
like,
mean,
because I am in a community with my wellness company that I am a part of.
Mhm.
I see so many other coaches, like women coaches that are parents, and they still make it happen. And I'm
Right.
like, and everyone's life is different.
Right.
Everyone's life is different.
Right.
But and I don't know everyone's life, which is why I'm quick to be like, I don't know what your life is like, so I can't. But I know that I'm gonna try my best whenever I have a kid, and I say kid one because I don't want
Same, I
one
don't want anymore. I
anymore.
don't even really want one, but I might just
I literally
because.
didn't want kids before I met Jordan, and then I remember
Oh, that's how I
we
felt.
were talking about kids one day, and he's like, "Yeah, kids." Da, da, da. And he's like, "How many do you want?" And I was like, "Who's gonna tell him?
Like none.
Who's gonna tell him?" But as our relationship went on, I was like, I guess I could
I
have
could see
a kid
it.
with you. But it's more so because like there were so many reasons I didn't want to have kids, and
Mhm.
fears and like
Yeah.
anxieties about it, and I was like, just no, it's easier to just not. But I was like, what, like being with him, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, if you're by my side, like maybe I can face all of
Right.
these fears that I have
Mhm.
and like worries I have about parenting and being in the world we live in, XYZ. I digress. Um, I see some people that are like, I'm not impressed by like 23-year-old gym influencers, which I hate the word influencer, by the way.
Mhm.
I'll get into that in a second. But
I got into that on my last podcast.
but um I'm like, everyone has stuff. I know
Right.
that during my school year, bro, I'm like, I actively have thoughts. I'm like, if most people in my shoes would not be going to the lengths that I'm going to get my gym time in, to do
Mhm.
X, Y, and
Yeah,
Z.
cause you be waking up early,
Bro,
girl.
there are some days where the only like I'm so tired, and I have to sit in my car in between events, that I have like a 20-minute nap in my car.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and
real.
it is just like, and that's just like a glimpse into it. Like, there are some days where I wake up at 6 a.m. and I don't get home until 10 p.m., or I get home after my last class and I'm doing work until 11 p.m., and I still got to do it all over again the next day. And that's just like, it's being a student is a different beast in itself.
Mhm.
But I understand that being a parent is a different beast in itself as well. But like I
Mhm.
said, I'm surrounded by a community of women that like I see them putting in the work, and I'm like, I can only I can only see that and apply it to myself when I become a mom, and hope that I have the strength, like that I can pull myself together and not use my kid as an excuse to not work on myself,
Mhm.
because I don't want to make an excuse. Like,
Right,
I don't know,
right.
knowing myself. But like I said, everyone's influences, like everyone's lives are not the same. The economy we
Mhm.
live in, a
It's
lot of people
different.
have to work two jobs nowadays. If you're a
Mhm.
single parent, it's different depending on where you live, depending on like, I get it. I
Mhm.
get it. But I just don't like when people gotta hate on like young
Right.
influencers, like literally working on themselves. Like, I've
Right.
seen people hate it. But that's the thing about social media. You're just gonna see a lot of people hating all the
Right.
time, and that's just kind of part of it. That just comes with it. Funny story. I was actually, before I started sharing my fitness journey on Instagram, I was ready to delete everything. Like, all social media.
Really,
Like,
because that's I
I
feel
actually
that.
hate hate the negativity that social media,
Has
like,
now.
yeah, people just like, I don't know, people forget that there's other humans on the other side of a screen.
Mhm.
And more so it was because of like a situation that happened in high school that literally had me about to like
Oh.
I was about to delete it all. I was like, this is unnecessary. Social
Uh-huh.
media is unnecessary. And so sometimes I still am like, wow, social media sucks. But I've
Mm-hmm.
seen the communities that social media can foster.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like now after sharing my story for 2 years, like the amount of messages I've gotten of people like telling me that I've helped them or that my content is
Right.
inspiring. Like, bro, I never thought that would be me. Never thought
Yeah,
that would be me.
yeah.
And like, I remember getting my first message like that. I was like, shut up.
Aw.
Shut up. No way. I
Yeah.
have a folder. Stop me, gonna cry. I have a folder in my phone which is screenshots of all the messages I've ever gotten like that because like when I'm having like a bad day or like
You
a
just read
like
them
wow I
all.
haven't come far or anything, you know, like what you have days like that. Any
Yeah.
point in your journey you're gonna have a day like where you're like wow I've made no progress, but that's
Mm-hmm.
why I like take progress pictures, but like
Yeah.
also messages like that is like what I'll look at. I'm like I can't quit, no quitting.
Mm-mm.
um yeah, so social media can be like
I really do feel that because I remember like back during like COVID, I was like, or like maybe a little bit after, I was like, I really just want to delete everything, you know? Because like, you remember, like, I don't know if you still have one, but like I had like a spam account and like,
everyone did.
yeah, and that's long gone. But it's like, like I just remember being like, why am I doing this? Like, and I just like stopped it one day, deleted everything, deleted all the followers, deleted all my following. I didn't want to see it anymore. And it took me a while to do that, but then it's like I wanted to do that to my main account, and then I don't know, like I barely post as it is, so I was like, oh, I think I have like 12 posts on my Instagram, but it's like I wanted to at least have something up there,
Mhm.
like because it's like kind of like a little photo diary if you think
Yeah,
about it of like
that's
all
kind
your
of what
good moments.
I exactly.
Mhm.
I call it a digital scrapbook
Mhm.
because that's why I still do my photo dump posts. Like I do them pretty frequently, like at least once a week, like every other week,
Mhm.
because if anything, if first of all, I know that if people are getting tired of my account, they can hit the unfollow button. I'm
Right.
not one of those petty people like, oh my gosh, you unfollowed me.
Yeah.
I don't take offense to that. If you don't want to see my account, you don't want to see my account.
Mhm.
Um, and I use like that's what I think of my account is. I'm like, if anything is for me, like I
Yeah.
maybe I'm weird. Tell me if you do this. Like I frequently go back through my Instagram and look at posts
I
because
do
but like
too.
I
There's
post a
not much
lot
on
so I know
mine.
it's different, but
Yeah.
like I will go back to my posts from like freshman year. I'm like, wow, that was a good photo dump. Those were all cute pictures.
Uh-huh.
Like and I'll just and because not only am I like looking at the pictures and I'm like, wow, those are cute, it brings me back to like the season that I was in and what was
Like how
going
you
on in life
felt.
when I
Mm-hmm.
posted that and like what was going on in life when like during those photos. Like I don't know. It's that's what
Mm-hmm.
photo that's another reason I love photos. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
such a photo girly.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hanging out with me, like if we're going out somewhere, like I'm taking the photos. And
Mm-hmm.
some people find that annoying, and I used to be really self-conscious about it. Like, oh, are they gonna like be annoyed
Right.
that I'm
I
taking
feel that way.
pictures? But
But it's
now I don't care. Yeah,
memories.
exactly.
Because it's
Now I don't
like,
care because I'm like after the day happens,
mm-hmm.
what do you
Like, what
have?
are you
The
going to
memory in the
remember?
picture. The memory in
Yeah,
the picture.
yeah.
And I of course like I know my limits, like what occasions I'm like, okay, put the phone down. Like
Mm-hmm.
so I know some people can't. Most
Yeah,
people can't.
right. Mm.
But I obviously don't let it like take over. But
Yeah.
especially like on this fitness journey, like and just like learning what works best for me and like I like use photos as like almost like a food log.
Yeah.
But almost as a food log, but and that like they can be used for other things. So like my Instagram is just a mishmash of all the things. And I hope that it like shows like I feel like diversity isn't the word, but like I don't know. I hope it just shows like a real multifaceted life. Like it's not
I think
like
it does.
because
Yeah.
I hated looking when I was on my fitness journey at like the perfect Instagrams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then it just makes you feel like shit about yourself. You're
No, and
like,
I'm
why am I
like
not doing that?
exactly. And when in reality, you know, they're human with flaws too. But like your mind doesn't
You don't see it.
automatically think that when you're looking at someone who has your dream body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I can obviously like look at how far I've come and be like, wow, like my body looks like it looks. I can be proud of it, confident, more like I feel better. I feel more confident in how I look, but also know like I'm human and like my body is still my body when it's unposed and like in a
Mm-hmm.
different lighting and like it's the same body and they
Yeah.
both look like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
um it's just like being a human. That's why I can also go on a soapbox tangent about like going in with like the our food is poison and like on a very basic level we're just humans which are animals and like all we really need is like meat and like veggies like to
Mm-hmm.
live like on a very basic level like
Yeah.
that's why I look at like packaged food. That's weird. That's weird. I'm like, I'm just a little Homo sapien.
Yeah, right. Like, why are we
That is a
eating processed
hunter-gatherer.
food?
I'm also like one of those people that I'm like, I don't. Maybe this is just me, but you had to move out of a college apartment at one point, and it's so overwhelming because you're like,
Yep.
how did I get all of this stuff? How
Here.
did it get here, and where does it go?
And
And you're like, I
where
should
did
just
all
be a
my boxes
minimalist.
go?
I should just live in a
Yes.
different era where we're not consumers.
Yeah, that is
Like,
what's happening to me right now because I'm moving like next month, and it's
Really?
like, yeah, and I'm
You're
like,
in Richmond. Don't say
I'll be here all the time though. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry, girl. It's okay.
Girl, what?
It'll be fine. Don't worry. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm pointing at my boyfriend right now. If you're watching, he's over here for technical difficulties. But he just moved home. Yeah, my boyfriend just moved home. Woohoo. But then I'm leaving literally a
That's
month
crazy.
after. But you know what? I'm doing it for me because it's like ever since I was a little girl, I've always said like I'm not letting anything or anyone kind of like deter me from my path, you know? And so like yes, of course, like I want to be here with him, and like of course I would love to stay and mooch off of my parents. I love you guys. Thank you for providing me with everything I've ever needed. But it's like I just the commute to work, although
rough.
it's only 2 days a week, I know. And some people may listen to this and be like, "Bitch, get over yourself." Like that's 2 days a week. But
It is a long
it
commute.
takes a toll on
Is
you
it-
sometimes.
How long is your commute? An hour?
It's an hour, but there's always traffic.
traffic.
Right when you get in the city of Richmond, always, always, always traffic. And I'm like sitting there for at least like on a good day it's an hour and I can make it right there on time. But I'm always leaving early because I
You don't
can be
know.
there.
Yeah.
I got stuck on a bridge in traffic for almost like an hour 45, and I was 30 minutes late to work, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. You know, everyone's
Yeah.
like, we didn't think you were coming. I was like, no, just traffic. But you know, like I want to move out there because it's like it'll help with the commute, and then it's like, you know, like I'll be right next to work and I'll be with the people at work more because like we do stuff outside of work too.
Remind me what your job is.
I work for a PR firm for tech companies,
That's really
so
cool.
tech PR. But yeah, so like, you know, we do like our like once a month we try like get together and do something like as team bonding, you know. And then like I just really love the girls at work though, and they're really excited for me
Fun.
to work. And then like all my friends are up there. Like when everyone graduated, they graduated a semester before me, and then the rest of my friends are graduating a semester after me because I kind of went in the middle there. But nobody's coming back here, you know? And I'm like, they're all in Richmond. So I was like, well, like my mental health being here has kind of been like not amazing because there's nobody here like other than us. So it's like, you know, and then he hasn't been here and he just got here, but it's like, you know, that's an hour away. And he and I already live 30 minutes away. We're on opposite sides of the town, so it's 30 more minutes, you know?
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
Bro, freaking Stafford.
Mhm.
Big. It's bigger than you realize. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's in Spotsy, so it's like,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're in Fredericksburg right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
I forget who I was with the other day, but someone asked me like where I live, and I was like Stafford, and they were like North Stafford or West Stafford, and I was like
There's a West Stafford?
like just the different parts of Stafford, and I was like it's usually north or east, but okay.
Right, yeah.
I was like Stafford. Like,
Right,
I didn't know what to
right.
say.
How do
I
you
was like,
classify?
like I live 9 minutes away from Brook Point.
Yeah, right. Like that should tell you something.
Don't come looking for me, guys.
Yeah, wait.
But like what do you like you don't realize how big the little town that you feel like is the little town you grew up in, like how big it actually is, which I feel like I learned how big it was when I like took my driver's ed course in high school, because like I remember I don't know what course you took. I was like A+ driving, and we would like pick up a few different people from different parts of the county, and I was like, I didn't even know this place existed.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. What a time learning how to drive.
That was crazy. I remember I was sitting here thinking like, because my driver instructor kept sleeping on the job. Yeah, that was wild. And then I remember because I did my driving course with two people I actually had classes with, and that was really cool. But it was so funny because I'm sitting here thinking I could die at the hands of my classmates right now just because we don't know how to drive.
No, literally. One thing that I loved, because I was so anxious about driving, like I waited so long to get my license. That's a whole nother story. But I liked the passenger side where the instructor sat had the brake.
My dude was asleep.
That's while you were driving?
Yes, bro. I remember we had to get on 95 for the first time.
Absolutely not.
Right. And,
Absolutely not.
and we had to go to Quantico, right? And then right up at the edge of Quantico and turn around because there's like that exit,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you're
I know.
like, oh, Quantico. And then you can kind of do a U-E and turn around. You're not really supposed to do a U-E there, but you can. And so we're on 95. And I remember that like we were driving and whoever was driving, it wasn't me. I was in the back left seat, and I remember I was looking at the cars by me, and we're going like not too fast because we're learning, but we're going 95 speed, and I'm sitting here like, holy shit! Like there's a lot of cars. We're in a little bit of because it's like we're driving while these people are commuting to work.
Yeah. Learning how to drive on 95. Bro.
That was awful.
That was like probably the second time I've ever been on 95. I was definitely afraid of driving.
Me
I
too.
hated cars.
I was ready to
Absolutely
drive,
not.
but I was scared.
You know what I just realized? In the last section that I was talking about, there's something I said I'd come back to, and I forgot what it was. I was like, I'll come back to this. And I forgot. ADHD brain.
I don't even know. Sorry, everyone. We kind of got off topic a little bit and forgot where we were, but that's okay. We're gonna get right back on schedule. I did want to ask. So like a part of your like gym journey and everything. Um, I keep like a sheet of like everything I plan on talking about with like whoever I have on here, but I wanted to write this down, but I didn't want it to be like it sound weird like on paper. So like what I wanted to ask was like, is this something that you want to do forever? And I know that like forever is literally a long time. So like what I like that's why I didn't know how to phrase it on paper, but it's like, like um I know you said you don't know what you plan on doing after college, but it's like, what would you like to do, or what are you thinking about, like with the content creation, with like going to the gym and everything? Because I know like a lot of people, they do their fitness goals and everything. I know I've seen some people who work really hard on it for like 2 or 3 years, and then they're like, you know what? Now I'm just gonna stay fit. Like I'm not gonna do the intensity training and all this stuff anymore. I'm just gonna stay fit and do like not the bare minimum because it's like you're getting yourself there. Like that's great. So I do want to know, like, what's your plan?
Yeah. Sure. So I definitely have like a firm love for strength training. That might change, but for now, like as long as I love it, like I'm gonna stick with it. But I obviously always like I want to try new things. So like I don't know if you saw recently, but I've been pole dancing.
Yes, I
which
saw that.
it's very humbling if you've ever done pole dancing. It's a workout and you work up a sweat, and pole athletes are a real thing. So like don't just think it's like
That
to be
shit.
sexual and whatnot. Like no, like it's humbling, and it's very you have to be very skilled to do some of the tricks that you see people do. So
It's
like
a lot of core workouts.
so like scrippers, they're talented.
Yes, for
I
real.
digress.
I could never do it. I don't have the core.
Bro. So, and I think I'm fit. I was struggling. I'm going back on Thursday morning.
Oh, fun.
But in addition to that, like I want to try Pilates. I've heard that that's really hard, and
it's fun.
my mom, I don't know if you've seen pictures of my mom. My mom's this tiny little 4'11"
I've seen
Hispanic
her, yeah.
woman. She works at Forge, and the current, I promise I'm gonna get back on it. I promise this has something to do with my answer. The current gym teacher at Forge, he's like a CrossFit instructor, and so he offers these group classes before work for the faculty and staff. Anyone, it's open to any teachers, like faculty and staff in Stafford County, and they do CrossFit. And I've been to a few of them. I've been to quite a few of them because my mom was like, "You want to come work out with me?" And I'm always like, "Yeah, like mom and daughter dynamic duo." And they're very humbling. Like CrossFit is like I already knew that before I ever did CrossFit, but like you would look at her and you would not think that she can do what she does.
Yeah,
and so
insane.
I just love like I love trying different things, and like once you do something that it's not your strength, like it's not what you do on the daily, you have like a new respect for people that do it. And I just think it's fun to try new things because maybe you'll find something you love, and if you hate it, you'll at least be able to say like I did that, like right. Like I know yoga is something I would love to get more into, like hot yoga. There's a hot yoga studio in Fredericksburg.
I didn't know that.
I've
wanna do
looked
that.
into like hybrid training, like people that are like, oh, train like an athlete, strength training, and like training like an athlete. I'm not sure if I would love that, just because I feel like it would give too much high school, and I just don't. But of course, I'm gonna try. Like, I'll try it eventually.
Yeah.
And if I just feel like I have such an attachment to strength training because it's like what I did to get to where I am now. And so I'm like, I know that this works, and I know that I can do this, and like I like it, and I can stay disciplined in it because I like it, and I like playing around with it, making new splits and trying out new exercises that I've never seen before. And I love going on a good hike too. Like
Me
I love a
too.
good hike. I love going on a walk with my dog. Like
Mhm.
and if that changes in the future for me, so be it.
Mhm.
Overall, like coaching, is that, were you also asking about that, or is it
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
training?
Just coaching, gym life, everything, you know.
I don't know. I see a big vision like that if I put my mind to, I would be able to accomplish within wellness coaching. It has to do a lot with like the company that I'm with. They're very like, just like there's so much that's possible within it. And I've been to all of the trainings, and I get to hear other people's stories and what they've been able to accomplish. And it's like, I don't know about you, but I'm like in the fuck a 9 to 5
Yeah.
like
I'm
mind
in the 9 to
space.
6 right now,
Like
girl.
that 9 to 6 is crazy.
Well, it's an hour-long lunch, but I try like sometimes like I'll just like work 9 to 5 and then, you know,
Skip
if
lunch.
I can
Yeah.
5 to 6 like I'll just that will be my lunch.
And I don't know if I want to do that for
It's
the rest of
hard.
my life. Like not even I don't know if I want to. Like I don't want to do that. And
I don't know a lot of people that do.
like exactly, I don't know. I just feel like the generations above us were just so like let themselves be conditioned into think
Like how do you do
I don't
that
want to
for
be
the
like
rest of
that.
your life?
No, I'm
Like
not here
I'm
to pay
so
bills and
young.
die, bro. Like,
Right.
and obviously, like, it takes a lot to be able to get to a place where you don't have to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life, and like, because you can't live off retirement nowadays. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe this is just I have so much anxiety about the world we live in, and I think about this and like financial stability and whatnot. But like, I've always been like, even when I was like in middle school, like financially anxious,
Me
like
too.
anxious about
Always.
financial stability.
Yeah.
Like people used to ask me, "What's your biggest fear?" And people were like, "Oh, clowns, spiders, sharks." I'm like,
Being
financial
poor.
instability. Yep,
Right.
it's financial instability.
Right. I
Um,
don't know like what would I do without like I'm like I have to work the rest of my life so I can live
right.
like, you know.
And like, so I know that getting to a place where I can be financially stable and comfortable, and not even just comfortable, but being able to live above my like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
treat myself and not, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know, wellness coaching, like I love the working on your own schedule vibe, but also like I know it's going to take a lot to get to like that level.
Mhm.
And some people are not willing to put in that work for like, but like I see the freedom that comes with it at the end of the road at like a young age. Like, I don't know. So I'm like very much there in that mind space. And if I can like live an active lifestyle while teaching others to do the same, I feel like I don't know what greater gift, like being
Yeah,
able to earn
yeah.
money while also impacting people's lives.
Right.
I like that. And like all just by remaining fit, like all just taking care of myself.
Yeah, like why not?
So I see it in the long haul, whether it's part time for just a long time and I eventually go full time, or if it's just part time for longer than I'd like it to, like at this point in life. Like I I see myself being living that active lifestyle for a long time. Training wise, like I'm really just like a go with the flow. Right now I love what I'm doing, so I'm not going to change it. And if circumstances in my life change, like I'll switch it up if I need to. But see, like I've never been like a group fitness class, but I feel like once I like if I had a kid, I feel like that might be a more effective way to go
Yeah.
about things. Like if I while I have like having a kid, like getting those early morning like group classes in, which like I don't know. That's just I'm only 20 right now. I don't know what'll be best when I'm a mom, but like I told you
Right.
earlier, I don't want to make having a kid an excuse to not get my workouts in and take care of myself.
Mhm.
You have low battery.
Ooh. Yeah, I do.
That's kind of valid. We have been talking for a while.
Did you finish your thought though?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Did you want to just wrap it up then? We can always have you back, girl. I've learned you and I can talk, and I love it. I love it.
Hey guys.
I forgot that was recording.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed our long talks. Maybe getting off topic a few times. You might have to cut some of that talking out, just about whatever. But if you want to hear more about my story and just like how I help people, what I do in my life, because like I said, my Instagram is like all my life. It is Love Yours with a Z, like Love Yours by J. Cole. That's what it's supposed to be. Love Yours, Kai, Kai, on Instagram. I believe it might be the same on Threads. Not that many people use that, but I've had a few people ask me for my Threads, and I'm like, you use that? Okay. Because I definitely don't use X.
Yeah, I don't either.
What is X? No, I don't do that. But yes, Love Yours, Kai, and feel free to reach out about any questions you have regarding health, wellness, all the things. But it's been great. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. Might have to come back because we can. Maybe we just should talk over. I was gonna say Mexican food, but that's so not true.
Wait, why can't we? Let's just do it.
Oh, Maya said, "Fuck it, we ball."
We're getting Mexican food, guys. But I will have all of her socials and everything, every way that you can find her in the bio, and just a little bit of a bio about her as well, you know, like, because this will be a long podcast, but you will be able to get a gist of it in the bio for sure. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and listening to us talk. I know we rambled quite a bit, but it was so fun. But yeah, all right. Well, I will see you guys on the next episode of Digesting Life. Bye.
Toodles.